open it up to questions.
Good morning. First, let me start by sending our thoughts and prayers and condolences with all those affected by what's occurred in Charlottesville, with the people of the community, the University of Virginia football program, and those as close as home as Arlington. So our thoughts are with them this morning. And, obviously with some time to reflect, going back to last Thursday night's game, great to get a win, especially at home in conference. And we did some really good things. Obviously, like every game, a lot to improve upon as well. And, we're going to take the time, obviously, with a longer weekend and moving into this week to really focus on North Alabama and self-improvement. North Alabama is a team that has made a head coaching change. It's going to be their last game of the season, so they got nothing to lose. They're going to come out and battle and play hard. They got one of the best running backs in the entire country that's rushed for over 1,500 yards. And they've played multiple things on defense. So we're not sure exactly what we're going to get, but we know they'll get their best foot forward coming from them, and they'll be ready to play. But we got to get our guys ready and dialed in and focused on the task at hand.
Ryan, how healthy are you guys with the flu now that's been going around a little bit?
Yeah, it did affect us, like I mentioned. And, we've had guys that missed multiple games, throughout the last few, but, just neither here nor there that weren't in the lineup. But we feel like we're getting back close to full strength. We still got some guys that weren't able to participate yesterday, and some guys that are continuing to seek medical help with that. But hopefully it moves on and that we are healthy and ready to roll for a normal week if there is such a thing.
When you say medical help, is that just kind of just normal, just taking care of the flu or anything, or just like extra serious?
No, just taking care of the flu. We're seeing athletic trainers, our physicians, all those things. So varieties of medical help, if you will.
Just making sure it wasn't like a hospital visit or anything for you.
No, I hope not, no. So.
Ryan, I know every game is important, but this is senior night. A win would give you guys another bowl. Just what does it mean for your seniors to be able to have that opportunity to do this on senior night?
Yeah, I think that's important. Look, like I always say, we talked about it post-game a little bit. Frank was just, okay, one game at a time, but what this game means, it does get us to a bowl game if we win, but it's also for the opportunity for these seniors to play their last game in Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and there's been a lot of great memories there. And that, more than anything, is probably going to be some emotion to those guys because they poured their blood, sweat, and tears into that stadium, and there's a lot of great memories that have occurred there. And so for them, it's all about them and representing them the right way and sending them out the right way with a win on Saturday is going to be huge. But I know they'll be dialed in and focused. The most important thing is the game itself, but what a way we can maybe possibly pay tribute to them, pre-game and then throughout the game, and then hopefully end it the right way.
What message would you have to the fans to just make sure to come out and support these guys after having, being here for so long?
Yeah, look, there's some of those guys are going to go down as true Tiger legends, and just not only what they did on the field, but so many of those guys have given so much back to the community. And I think, you think about some of those seniors, guys that have seen the ups and downs and have done a great job and continue to pour into this program. So to all of our fans, come out and support them. We're obviously coming off a win. Come and support. Show up at the Tiger Walk. Be there in the stands. Be there early, to celebrate them, and the recognition, before the kickoff for Senior Day, because they've given you guys everything they have. And please, we'd love for them to show up and be loud and proud and cheer them on.
Ryan, for the second straight year, I believe you guys are now it's Senior Day, and you guys are facing a situation where a win could mean a bowl eligibility. Given where the program has been before, just kind of, are you guys still satisfied with that, or does it kind of feel like, there's things we need to improve as a program where going into the last home game of the year, you don't want to be bowl eligible, fighting for bowl eligibility for that? Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm the first one to say it, right? Going to bowls, the minimum expectations. And I still say this, and I still stand on my ground of we need to be competing for conference championships. And so, yes, there's a lot to improve upon, and it starts with me. I've got to do a better job and make sure I'm getting that program, or our program, back to what I think it's capable of, right? Does that mean we're going to go to the Cotton Bowl every year? I hope so. That'd be great. But we've got a lot of things we got to continue to work on and get this thing back to where it needs to be. And that's the ultimate goal, right? But for right now, we can only focus on this week and the task at hand. But yes, ultimately, Evan, we've got to be better. And I've got to be better and get this program to where we should be competing for championships.
And do you feel at this point, you guys, teams always talk they want to improve at the end of the season. Do you feel that the team is improving at this point right now?
Yeah, and I think, look, it's always.
In what way, too? Sorry.
Sure, yeah. I think it's always obviously difficult in losses to ever come out and be like, oh, yeah, we're getting better, because nobody wants to hear that crud. but we're seeing certain things that they get better, and sometimes it may be, wow, the kickoff coverage really improved, but then the next week it's the punt coverage got better. Then you look and, oh, wait, now one week they're all both better. It's not how it works. I think it's just seeing players and individuals and schemes continue to grow. There's still a lot of things that we got to improve on. We have way too many drops still. Very disappointed. We had 6 drops last game. Right now, you can go play a game without drops. Does that necessarily mean the drops are completely gone? No, not necessarily. Right. What we've talked about is also, and we talked about it after the game. Right, the turnovers, and that's part of it. And that's that we've got to get that. And so that's one of those things that's kind of hindered us these last few games. But we were able to go get takeaways. So that's just part of those things. We've got to continue to harp on the keys to victory that are going to allow us to have success week in and week out. Sometimes we look really clean tackling, other times we don't. So all those things being said, I do think we are improving. You want to be playing your best football in November, and hopefully we get to do that and show that continuation going into this Saturday.
You talk about going 1-0 every week, but if you go 1-0 this week, that means that the bowl happens. Does that become part of the message for this week specifically with that kind of looped in together?
Yeah, Matt, I don't ever discuss. I think the players know what's at hand, and getting to a bowl game with a win is part of it. But that it won't be part of the message. It really won't. It's truly about facing North Alabama and getting better ourselves. And we know after the game, good, we can discuss it. And guess what? As soon as that's over with, that's great. On to the next one. And I think it doesn't mean you don't celebrate the victories and what comes with that, because in this profession, we know that the wins are hard to come by, and it's hard in college football. And if anything, one of those things gave me a chance to kind of sit back Saturday again, kind of discuss this during the bye week, like to sit back and watch some other teams play college football, and you sit there and say, man, it's hard to win. You see the things that are going on throughout the game, but it is, yeah. I mean, we'll discuss it after, hopefully, and then, okay, that's great. Now it's time to focus on the next opponent.
Speaking of seeing other things in college football, would you talk to them about, like, Liberty got beat by UConn, which was wasn't even playing football there for a minute during COVID?
Yeah, Jarvis, I think that is one of the things we constantly try to educate them on things that are occurring in other games. And so I'll give you a perfect example. Is we are always showing them, in our team meetings, we show a thing called not our standard and our standard. Right, and one of the things that there was in our game, we twice actually tried to reach the ball over the goal line. Well, we don't teach that unless it's a 4th down situation or a game-ending situation, right? Because we've seen it all the time. Balls fall out, right? And sure enough, I started to show a clip of a game on Saturday, and half the guys go, the ball's about to come out, because they already know. Or the players start to send me clips like, Coach, did you see this? Did you see what happened in this game? I'm planning on showing them I was able to watch in the cafeteria some of the highlights last night after practice of the Bills game, right? What a bizarre ending to a game, just with the ebbs and flows of that game. And just to try to educate and show, hey, it's about defending every blade of grass, and you never know, right? And so the more we can educate, the more we can show them the things that are occurring. Maybe it comes into practice, and that's part of it. And are we going to be perfect? No, but we see examples all the time of the way to do things and the way not to do things.
I'm curious about the running back. How does this guy get 1,500 yards on a team that's won one game?
Yeah, well, they're going to hang their hat on handing him the ball, and he's very, very explosive, and he's done a nice job. And so they put up points offensively, and that's one of the things. They're top 25 in the country in points, and so they put up points. Like I said, they had to change it, the head coaching thing, and I don't know. I think he was maybe more involved on the defense, but their defense coordinator's also been there for, I believe, 18 years. But their offense has been humming quite nicely for quite a while. And if you look, I believe over the last 5 of their games have been 1-possession games, a variety of scores. So, they're hanging tough with guys, but the running back is a special talent.
You talk about how tough it is to win. Obviously, like you guys were reminded that a little bit over the last month. And you said that the guys stuck with it week in and week out, never held their heads. But for what you've seen the last couple days after Thursday night, is there a little extra pep in the step again?
I always say this, and I think you can actually coach guys harder in a win. And so I think they were probably expecting Friday morning team meeting me to come with a smile on my face. No, the first thing I did was say, hey, we had too many penalties last game. That's not us. That's uncharacteristic. And then show them, hey, we got a lot of work on. The turnovers. I mean, I am as mad as can be about the way we continue to turn the football over. And so, but the guys, the buy-in has not changed. And like I said, I'm talking to so many people, right? The message itself obviously you tweak it week to week and do all this stuff, but the reality of being bought in, this is the way we do things, this is the way we practice, this is the way we go to study hall, this is the way we do things, that message hasn't changed, and the guys have not deviated from what they expect and what our standards are and within our culture. And so maybe it's just sometimes when you win, it's maybe a little bit easier to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So maybe in their mind, it's okay, well, here we go. Now we got a chance to go back to your question, like, well, maybe I can get there at 5:45 this morning, take care of my body because we win this one, it's for a bowl. So those things someday probably may in the back of some guys' minds. You hope that that's not it. It's just, hey, I'm just going to wake up every day. But guys are inspired and motivated by different things.
Well, you mentioned after the game that you feel like Seth had one of his better games of the season, but the offense itself has seen better days. When you see that out of your quarterback and the offense still kind of struggles, how do you evaluate, all went into that?
Yeah, and I go back, I think, and I did say it, and then there's still, like, literally, Frank, I was sitting there thinking, like, yes, I was thinking about you guys Friday watching the film, believe it or not, and I sat there, man, Seth did some good things, but so many things that he could have had fixed, and one of the knucklehead mistake of him, I don't know if he was trying to throw it back to the running back where he fumbles the ball and we recover, Matt Dale recovers. I mean, that's a mistake you can't make. That was a true freshman mistake. Well, now he's not a true freshman, so that was something he got fixed. But when you look at the rest of the offense, right, you go back 6 drops, right, 2 fumbles. Those are things that truly hinder an offense. And we have to get that out of our system. The offensive line has to play a little bit better. I didn't think they played their cleanest game. Obviously, we're down some guys. We changed up some guys in the middle of the game as well. But we just got to get where we're clicking on all cylinders and being consistent. I go back to it. I thought, really the first half we did some nice things, but then the second half it was just we weren't able to sustain and do those things, and so that's part of it. We got to continue to win the one-on-one battles at every position, whether that's a running back making a safety miss when we know the safety's down the box like Tulsa did, or a receiver making a one-on-one catch. So all those things got to come hand in hand, but we got to find ways to improve them quickly.
When you're going against a Tulsa defense that struggled against the run, one of the bottom of the country, and the run didn't necessarily get going how you wanted, is that more concerning versus a Tulsa defense versus, as compared to any other game, or is it all just the same?
It really is all the same, because what I do is, and I get it, I mean, I understand we should look at stats and say, okay, well, Tulsa has one of the bottom tier run game defenses, but man, they shut down Memphis offense, our run game. Absolutely they did. Now, it was a completely different scheme. They had that safety, number 21 was down the box, and that was their whole deal, was we're going to stop the run, and they did a nice job doing it. So, I look at it game by game, but overall, we've got to get the run game going better, and it's a variety of different things they've got to improve, and we hope that we find that answer. There's no magic formula for it. I'm constantly looking at scheme. Can we put our guys in better position? Is it the right personnel? How do we block better? How do we get guys, we've run more motions. We've done those things, just trying to continue to find ways to get it going. But yes, it is not where it needs to be, and that hangs wholly on my shoulders, and we got to get fixed.
Ryan, is that more line, or is there a running back involved in responsibility?
It involves everybody, right? Coaches and players. And when I talk about the run game, I talk about everybody, right? And it starts actually, and I'll be the first to say, the quarterback, right? So much RPO stuff is given. So, if there's an extra hat in the box and I was supposed to throw it out there and this guy's unblocked, well, it doesn't matter what we call it, the quarterback's got to make that right decision, right? Or maybe it's the quarterback carrying out the fake and part of the triple option. Or is it a receiver blocking on the perimeter that wasn't doing his job and the guy comes in and knifing the play for a 2-yard gain? Is it the tight end on the backside? Is it the tight end play side? Is it the offensive line that's not getting movement or, sustaining guys that are slanting, angling? Is it the running back that's not making anybody miss? So it's a combination of all parties involved. Ultimately, like we always say, let's put the onus on us as coaches and scheme, and then figure out the rest. But it's the run game has been a falter by everybody.
Ryan, it sounds like from what you're saying, do you think you guys are playing your best football in November right now?
I think I'm certainly not playing our best. I think we're getting better, and we need to play absolute best. But you go back and someone would say, oh, you played your best 3 quarters of football versus Houston, and you didn't play the 4th quarter. But it doesn't matter. It's just how you continue to get things done. but there's certain things that we're seeing that are clean. The biggest thing that we have to clean up this month of November, and it starts with the next game, is the turnovers and the drops. And if we get that, then I think we'll start to see the offense getting back on all cylinders and doing those things. The defense has done some nice things, but we got to just be consistent overall as a program.
It just sounds like, just from what you're saying, it sounds like there's a lot of things being critical about. So I'm wondering, just
I will always be. That's my job, is to always be critical of our program. You guys are plenty critical, and rightfully so. But I will continue to find ways for us to improve. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, and we've got to get things fixed. And even in wins, I'm going to be critical, because that's the time to sit here and say, okay, how do we get this fixed? How do we improve upon that? We've won games 55-0, and I've been disappointed with the way certain things have gone, and we've got to get those things fixed.
I guess with 2 games left, that's why I'm more curious about it. If the criticism is still there, and again, I understand why. How much time do you guys have to try to fix some of these issues? Because it seems like there isn't much time now.
No, you fix them every single day. You go to work every single day, and you fight like hell to get those issues fixed, and you hope that you're better the next day. And then guess what? Then you line back up and you go and try to fight like hell to get them fixed. And that will never change for 365 days a year for as long as I'm coaching.
Fumble aside, Caden obviously had a bit of a quiet night Thursday. When you watch the tape, do you see defenses are now starting to key in on him to try to take him away more? The secret's no longer a secret?
Well, he obviously, teams know where he's at right now, and obviously he's been a huge receiving threat. And yes, I'd say early in the year, okay, red zone tight end, right? We refer to him as a red zone threat. And now I think people are saying, whoa, they're using this guy all over the place. So I think it's a combination of that. And then also, he also will be the first to admit he probably didn't play his best game. And whether that's winning some of the run-on-ones, maybe even that extra safety that was down that was possibly playing the box, but was also playing that intermediary where, a lot of Caden's catches have occurred, right? Whether it was on slip routes or 5-yard option routes, sometimes that extra safety may have been there in the zone to avoid it. So a combination of errors with that as well.
Ryan, what is it about that position that has worked well for you guys over the years in this game? Because it's not just Caden. I mean, you had tight ends come before him. What is it about that works for you guys' scheme?
Yeah, so in 7 years here at Memphis, we've never lined up a single snap without a tight end on the field, and I think that probably makes us relatively unique to a lot of these teams that are going to like 10 personnel packages without a tight end and more a variety of different things. So we've always used them because it's an important part of what we do offensively, because we still do try to run the ball. We do line up a tight end in the core, in the line of scrimmage, but we can also use them as a wide receiver. And so I think it's just as this offense has evolved, that tight end position's always been ultra important, whether it's for blocking or pass catching. And obviously you kind of go back to the history since we've been here, right, guys? Joey Magnifico, Sean Dykes, and now all of a sudden you look in Caden's and a guy that's doing it at a high level. And I think it's just an important position. And sometimes, like we said, does that allow a safety to maybe to try to guard a receiving threat tight end, a linebacker, right? It may not ask a linebacker or safety to guard Calvin Austin, but maybe you have that opportunity to get on a guy. And then, obviously Sean had tremendous speed at that position, and obviously Caden's got, the bigger body and the bigger frame. So, they're two different completely types of tight ends, and even going back to the history before that, to the Allen Crosses, it's just different body types. But, he's one of those that just continues along the history and the lineage of some good tight ends that have had success with this offense.
But even with the different body types, it seems like it doesn't matter what the body type is. You guys find a way to utilize that position in the passing game specifically. Not every offense uses tight ends as much.
Yeah, I think it's the credit should go to the players, because they've done a great job of getting themselves opened and producing and finding ways to get into the ball, but it's also built into our concepts as well. So when you look at our offense, like sometimes the tight end's the 5th option or the 4th option, whatever the heck it may be with what you're doing. But sometimes the tight end may be the first read on a variety of different things. And everybody says, well, what kind of offense is this? It's a combination of 6,000 different things, right? There's the day and age of, we're just a West Coast offense. What the heck's a West Coast offense anymore? And so it's kind of blended so many different ways, but the tight end's always been a major factor of what we're doing in the passing game. And, the way it's rolling, I continue to see it, moving forward that way as well.